Welcome back, everybody, to the Breakdown Podcast YouTube channel. My name's Corey, and with me today is Vic.
The man, the myth, the legend, the king, Miller King 5-1.
You going to add any other things to that?
I mean, first of his name. Actually, I'm not. I'm like second of my name, but whatever.
Anyway, we're here today. What we're going to do is, this is a special for YouTube. This is something we haven't done before, and we thought it'd be kind of fun. They just put out the first episode of Superman and Lois, and normally we would talk about this on the podcast, available at Google Play and Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And also, if you look in the links in the description down there below, you'll see we do it live 7 p.m. Tuesdays Eastern on Twitch. Just check the link down there. And while you're down there, hit the little red subscribe button. Yeah, just hit that. Hit the little bell too. Yeah,
Ding
and then
that bell.
And one other thing we ask you to do. I know it's a lot. Hit that thumbs up button, because we like that. We don't like the thumbs down. Just give us a thumbs up.
I'll take a thumbs down. I don't care. Hit either one. It's fine.
No, we don't want that.
Leave a comment. Even more
okay.
Leave
if you're gonna do the thumbs down, leave us a comment. Tell us what you didn't like.
Yeah.
That's only fair. I mean, it's only fair. Come on. In this episode, normally we talk about these shows in the audio version, but we decided for Superman and Lois, we're gonna do these via YouTube, because we're trying to branch out a little bit. So with that, we're going to do the entire season of Superman and Lois, our reactions and our thoughts and our views right here on YouTube. And this is for the pilot. This is the first one. Vic, let's not get into that. I don't want to know your thoughts. I don't want you to know your thoughts. First,
okay.
What we're going to do is we're going to head to the trailer. You ready to see this trailer?
Let's break it down.
All right, let's see it.
Our dad told us all these stories about growing up here.
Tell you it sucks?
Actually, I think he kind of loved it.
We came here as a family.
It's too dangerous for them to know.
It's more dangerous if they don't.
You're Superman? No, we've seen Superman before. We've seen him.
You told the boys you're Superman. Couldn't lie to them anymore. This is gonna keep
Yeah.
the family together.
Bart, it's gonna tear it apart. All the times you were gone, you lied to me. You both did.
I really hope that we should probably just talk over this part.
Yeah.
We get DMCA strike.
Right.
Thanks, CW.
The world will always need Superman.
Who knows? We'll probably get a copyright strike.
I know. We're doing this as a review. They should be fine with it.
Yeah, but it's YouTube. It's robots that are making these decisions. Trying to review it. They don't care. That was the trailer. There was a lot given there. Most of that stuff was all in this first episode. But what we'll do is, let me give you the Imdb plot synopsis of this first episode. Here we go. This is the first one. Superman and Lois's return to idyllic Smallville is set to be upended by mysterious strangers.
Mm-hmm.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's it. But apparently. But here's more in detail, I think. Clark and Lois travel to Smallville with their twin sons, Jonathan and Jordan, when someone in the family died. That's Clark's mom, because that was the only person that lived in Smallville.
Right.
As the family makes a decision about where to live, Superman faces a powerful new opponent, and one of the Kent boys discovers that her has inherited his... I wish people, when they write these out, they would spell check, because it says... Kent boys discover that her has inherited. What? That one of the sons inherited powers.
Right. There
we go. I just said it for you. And that's what happened in this episode. Clark's mom dies. They all go back to Smallville. Apparently they've been there before.
Yeah.
Because the boys they knew a girl. They met a girl when they were younger, and it turns out to be Lana Lane's daughter.
Right.
Well, I'm not surprised that... I wasn't surprised when she walked up and said what her name was.
Yeah. As soon as I saw her, I was like, this is going to end up being Lana.
Yes, because even though it's Emmanuel Shrieky, I think is how you pronounce her last name.
Yeah.
She wasn't in Smallville. However, she does look like Alana Lane.
Right.
She does look like the actress that played Lana on Smallville. It looks like a more adult version, or like a grown-up version, kind of. So it for me, it was believable to see Lana, see her as Lana. So
yeah,
no issues there. What were your thoughts on the episode overall?
So overall, I was actually kind of impressed with the episode. I actually thought it was going to be a little more CW than we got out of it, which it did have a lot of those elements to it, obviously, but it wasn't as cringy as I thought it was going to be. I actually found the entire show actually kind of endearing. We get to see Superman's. I'm going to be flat out honest. Superman is not one of my favorite superheroes. I think he's just very milquetoast, and it's just a milquetoast character that is very predictable in everything he does. But I actually like the more humanist aspect of what they're doing with it. So in DC Comics, you have where everyone knows who the hero is. They don't know who their alter ego is. And in superhero world, you have your alter ego, which is who you are in real life, and then you have your superhero version. And in DC Comics, the superhero, everyone knows about the superhero. They know the superhero, they know who they are, but the actual human being is just kind of left out to the side. So I think I like the idea of them doing more of the story about how Clark is dealing with his family, dealing with him being Superman, as opposed to us watching Clark be Superman constantly. So this is literally Smallville 2.0.
Kind of.
It's like, yeah.
It really had that feel, because through a lot of the episode, because a lot of it took place on the Kent farm, I kept thinking in the back of my head that this was the same location they used in Smallville.
Mm-hmm. It is
on the TV show.
Yeah,
it's a different house.
Right. Well, it's the same. It's the same look to the whole thing. Yeah.
Right. It's the same look. But I kept thinking in my head that it's the actual same location.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I thought before the show started, you know, we got both Lois and Clark both in Superman in the crossover episode.
Right.
And
Crisis on Infinite Earth with from. It's supposed to be a Flash thing, but it's the Flash crossover with them.
Right.
They brought him in.
And when they brought him in, I was just like, I was indifferent to the characters, to both him and Lois.
Right.
And I just didn't have that connection. But I feel like after this episode, I've got a bit of a more connection, at least to Clark/Superman.
Right. So
Lois, not so much.
Lois is a little bit snippy, and like, I feel. So let's do it this way. We have, like I said, there's two distinct parts to the show. There's the Superman part. In the Superman part of the show, Superman is dealing with Lois's father, who's the general, and he is trying to stop a nuclear meltdown, which keeps happening at all these different nuclear facilities. And of course, you know, he just whispers, Superman hears it, he comes a-flying. So again, Superman...
He had a little...
I know, I'm just saying, like, he whispers and he comes flying. Because that's how he also talks, like, knows what's going on with his mother. But he comes, you know, he's just basically on call for the general, and the general is literally using him. Like, he's like, I have my own superhero in the family. I can do this whenever I want. So that portion of the story basically breaks down to Superman's coming in and he's trying to help the general figure out who's sabotaging these nuclear plants to try to cause these meltdowns. And this was one of the first times I've actually enjoyed how Superman solved a problem. When he flies out and they're like, oh, it's going to overheat and explode. He flies out in the ocean and he freezes a portion of the ocean, grabs a giant iceberg, and saves the day by flying it into the reactor and cooling the whole thing down. And I was like, that's one of the first times I've ever seen them actually use Superman in a way that the comic books would have used him to solve a problem. And that gives me great confidence in the way they're kind of rolling with telling this story in the show, which I was very nervous about before.
Didn't this happen like in Superman 2 or 3 with a nuclear plant?
Yeah, it's always a trope that the easiest way to destroy, Metropolis is to blow up a nuclear plant. Like, and that's just a trope. Like, it's always a thing. The bad guys always go after it. But
well, that was to me, I was thinking in the back of my head, I'm thinking that I'm going, oh, this is just an homage to whatever that movie was.
Right.
And as the episode went on, I was noticing several different things that were homages to either the comics or to Smallville or to the previous movies.
Right. Now,
one of them being what you saw in the trailer, which was the lifting of the truck.
Right.
And I mean, obviously, the setting is different.
Yeah.
But it's just there's simple nod. And what did you like the way that they revealed to the kids what was I thought it was kind of funny because the one son said, "You're not Superman." I'm like, okay, first of all, the only reason people can never figure out who Superman is because he has a pair of glasses on.
Right.
He's never walked around the house without his glasses on.
Well, they didn't even say, like, he took off the glasses real slow, like that was going to be the reveal. So when he did that, you're thinking, okay, they're going to see that it's Superman just because he took off his glasses, but it didn't. Like, it wasn't the fact that he's wearing the glasses that does it. It's just when he takes the glasses off and the kids are just like, and that was actually one of the better parts. Also, he's like, yeah, and then he picks up the truck and they're like, oh, what the hell? And then he flies with the truck and they're like, oh, fuck, he is Superman.
Which begs the question. It's like he takes him off and they're like, yeah, so. And it's like, okay, you've seen Superman's face before, right? And you never thought, hey, that looks like my dad without glasses on. You would think.
So this is the thing. Like, when this all kind of trends together with him being Superman and being in Metropolis. When he gets back to the house, Lois is like, "Hey, your son's a little upset with you because you missed your appointment with him today." Because they have twins. In the comic books, he has a son who is Jonathan, who is the sporty kid, right?
He's Sporty Spice.
Yeah, he's Sporty Spice. I was trying to avoid not doing that, but I knew that was going to come out of your mouth anyway. But yeah, so it plays out where the Crisis on Infinite Earth changes their reality, and they end up with twins. And then we've obviously moved years from that point to where they're dealing with that, and he walks into the kid's room and he's playing Injustice, which I thought was great. And he's like, oh, your Superman's pretty good. He's like, yeah, I'm Raiden. I was like, damn, what a diss. But like that, they didn't break the fourth wall, but it puts us into a context that, like, they're living in a reality that has that game in it, which I thought was kind of cool too. But the fact that, like, this kid's obviously, they give us a kind of an insight on what's been going on with the family through the years right at the beginning, which I thought was also another interesting way to start off the show, because we don't have to go through the exposition of learning how their family dynamic works. She just does this kind of monologue that explains, they have a monologue at the beginning that explains how everything is. The one brother has anxiety issues, and he's dealing with it. And you look at it, you're like, man, if he ends up being the super kid right off the bat, like, that's dangerous. Like, you think about the fact that, like, his mental health issues and having his father's superpowers is dangerous, and it's going to cause a problem.
He's gonna be like that kid in that knockoff movie that was out a couple years ago.
Yeah,
that was like a baby Superman. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be like that kid. He's gonna go around just burning people.
Now, I don't know if you noticed, but they showed during that kind of monologue, they showed and I think it was supposed to be Superman. So it's supposed to be Clark. But he was throwing the football, and he threw the football through the rope on this tire swing. But the way that they kind of played that out is it doesn't really look like at first, like, you think she's talking about the younger son. So they actually tried to plant in our head that maybe, not the younger son, that the sportier son was the one with the superpowers already. And then they talk about him getting a spot on the thing. And the whole time they're doing that, I'm like, wait a second, that can't be right, because they would be telling him not to do that, just like Clark was informed not to do that when he was younger. But my problem with it is like, Clark, you were told at a young age what was going on with you. Like, you had to learn how to deal with it. Why would you try to hide it from your kids, knowing the kind of, not massive, but the the angst and trauma that it caused you, not knowing who and what you were. Why would you push that onto your kids, knowing how you dealt with it, which was not necessarily positive in Smallville? If we've all watched Smallville, we know he didn't do well with it. So why would you put your kids through that?
It from a viewer standpoint, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
From a writer standpoint, it makes so much sense because then they have that built up
It,
with the one
yeah,
son.
it creates the
where he's
drama.
all depressed, you know, and then now we attempt to rebuild from here. And it's like, okay, yeah, well, the logic doesn't make sense.
Right.
But I'll forgive it at this point. What were some of the other ups and downs? Were there any ups and downs for you? Yeah,
the other ones that you know, when his mom passes away, which is right at the beginning of the show, which I also thought was great. They didn't drag that out. They go and they go back to the to Smallville, and they meet up obviously with the people that he grew up with. We meet I forgot her name. I think it was Becca, maybe. We meet Lana's daughter, who we find out, like you said, was friends with them when they were younger. They came to visit for a summer, and they met her, and so they have kind of like a connection to Smallville already. So it's not like they're crazy out there. I thought it was great that the younger daughter was just like outing everything that their dad said about them. Yeah. I was like, that's very, because you always think about that, you know, don't say stuff in front of your kids you don't want them to repeat. Like that was something that was taught to me when I was way younger, and you know, because you say something about somebody, kids don't know any better. They just think it's okay to say it, so they go and repeat it, and that's exactly what happened here. So that was also another good point. The tension where the boys get dropped by the giant metal pipes that are in the very precariously. First of all, who puts a router in the barn? Question number one. Question number two, who puts a router in the barn on top of the hayloft, out of reach of the ladder?
You know,
and thinks that was a smart idea.
Yeah, I mean, they called out their grandma for doing that.
Right.
They're like, why would you do this? But as a viewer, I'm going, yeah, why is it in the box?
Yeah, it makes no
why
sense
is it
to
in
me.
A place that nobody can reach? Why are all those pipes stacked weirdly? Why do they have all those?
Yeah,
pipes?
it's all very like why they have the pipes is not an issue because it's a farm. There's no telling what he was doing. Those could be irrigation pipes that they have for something. So that I'm not worried about. But my problem is why did you put them up there like that, and why did you strap them hanging off of the wall? But then when
they weren't even strapped up.
When they drop on the boys, and you see Jonathan jump on his brother to protect him, you're like, okay, well that tracks. Like he's gonna be, you know, the kid with the powers, and he's protecting his brother. And I was like, this is not the way this is gonna play out. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, nope, I know who's gonna end up with the powers now at this point, because the kid that's the hero is the one that's going to be the last one to get the powers. I do believe they're both gonna end up with powers. I think that what's gonna end up happening is as the one brother starts to build on his powers and abilities, the other brother is going to eventually become jealous, and that jealousy is going to lead to a conflict mid-season.
You think he's going to turn evil?
Not that he's going to turn evil, but he's going to become jealous, and he's going to have an issue, and that's going to build up to a boiling point. And at that boiling point, when you think he is about to turn evil, his powers are going to kick in, and he's going to end up having the same abilities as his brother, and then he's going to end up becoming a good guy, and they're going to be a force for good. But again, we don't know where the show is going exactly. We do know that he finds his powers because his brother's getting his butt whipped because he macked on the wrong guy's girlfriend, because he went in for a kiss with the daughter, and she apparently has a boyfriend who's on the football team, and he beats the crap out of her.
To be fair, she never said a word about it.
She did not, but she also did not. She didn't exactly like play like she was into him and wanted him to like try to kiss her. This is literally the first day. This is the first night he's met her.
That's not the first time. No,
it's the first night they've been back. They haven't seen each other in a while. Like this isn't like a new. Like they were.
Come on, they're in high school.
Come on. It's still he took advantage of the moment, which is fine, youthful indiscretion. But he paid for his brother pays for it, and as all this is going down, he loses it and fires his eye lasers into the bonfire. It explodes, and causes mass havoc and craziness. And this is my only negative so far for the show. Everyone is from Smallville. Everyone in Smallville knows what Clark. I mean, I don't know that they don't know he's Superman, but they've all seen this weirdness before with Clark. And now this weirdness is happening again now that Clark's back. But it's his kids. So like I think it's going to be kind of weird how that plays out. Okay. Go ahead.
You got to remember, these are the same people that don't realize Clark is Superman because he's got glasses.
It's always going to come back to that, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, I'll give you that. But
Town of dumb people.
from my standpoint, it just seems kind of weird that like nobody gets it. Nobody has kind of made that link. I think that the firefighter husband kind of gets it because he's jealous still for whatever reason, even though it's obvious that him and Lois were meant to be and have been and don't have any. He's not trying to mac on his wife or anything. So I don't know why he's playing this like dickhead.
No, I think it's because he thinks Lana still has a thing for Clark.
It's not Clark's fault though, if that's the case. And
No,
I don't think that's true.
It's not, but he's still gonna hold that.
Yeah.
He's still gonna hold that above his head. Here's the one thing that I am not too keen on right now.
Okay.
And
Aside from the bad placement of the router.
Besides the bad placement of the router. It happened at the very end of the episode. We find out who it was. Well, we find out the person's name that was fighting Superman throughout the episode at the nuclear plants. Because when he gets back to his fortress or whatever, takes off his helmet, and the computer says Captain Luthor.
Right.
Now, we also saw the back of his head, and if you couldn't tell by the voice, you could tell it was a black man. Now, in this world, Lex Luthor is played by John Cryer. So what happened?
So John Cryer couldn't have a kid, or Captain Luthor could
be this old.
That's true. Or Captain Luthor could be from the future.
See, that's what I'm wondering.
Because one, did you see that suit he was wearing? Did you see the ship that he was in? Because that wasn't a fortress. It was a ship he went to. He went back to a ship.
Wasn't really sure.
Yeah, it was a ship.
But yeah, I think with him, I don't think this is. I think you may be right. I think it may have something to do with maybe another Earth. I don't think that they're on another Earth. I think he came from another Earth. I think they're still on the same Earth.
Or do you think we're still in Earth Prime? Okay.
And I think he may have come from a different Earth, and I don't know. And he's trying to go around taking out every Superman. Because wasn't that was still a thing, right? Was that on the crossover episode where Lex Luthor?
Yeah. Lex was trying to eliminate Superman, all the Supermans, so that he could.
Maybe something happened, and this Lex Luthor from another Earth is also doing that and going around to the different Earths and getting rid of all the Supermen.
Maybe.
And
but
maybe
like I said,
what it is.
She said Captain Luthor. She didn't say his first name, so we don't know that he's Lex. We don't know that he isn't from like Earth 21 or Earth 2 or Earth whatever. Like I said, to me, my visual of what he flew down to was the tail end of a ship that he walked into with the AI, which is very popular in the DC world. There's always a talking AI for those ships. So I think that's what that is. So my prediction is that he's from the future or from another Earth. That's a ship. He came to this Earth to challenge Superman because like you said, either he's on a mission to eliminate all of the Supermen, or he's from the future, and as we know, Superman can go bad. And if he's from the future and he's from a dystopian future where Superman did go bad and he ends up here, he may be trying to take out Superman before, because he may be from Earth Prime, but from the future Earth Prime, and knows Superman goes bad, and or possibly his son goes bad and he needs to get rid of Superman so that he can get rid of his son. There's no telling how it's going to be. Again, first episode, it's just starting out. Tuesdays on NWB, so there's a lot of things that can happen. The other thing that
I probably got a little. I think I was, when they first said it, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, come on. I thought they were just totally changing it, but now that we talk about it, I'm a little more open to it. I'm more open to it.
There is a definite. I do see your point 100%. But I do believe that the way it's going to end up playing out is he's just going to be a character linked to Lex Luthor in some way, shape, or form. Because again, I don't think John Cryer is going to be on this. I haven't seen anything that says he's going to be.
There hasn't been any.
So I'm pretty sure that they're just going to bring, because if you have a Superman, you have to have a Lex Luthor of some sort, or a Luthor of some sort. I mean, that's you can't have Batman and not have some sort of Joker in there. It's just the way that they kind of do it, and I'm okay. I'm ready for it. I'm actually kind of impressed that they let us know right off the start that that's what they were doing. So I'm actually kind of happy about that. I'm actually more impressed with this show than I thought it was going to be. Like I've never really watched, like, Smallville was not my thing. I did not like it all that much. The Superman TV shows that they've done in the past have just been kind of eh. And because I'm not a big Superman fanatic, this show is actually the first time that I've really enjoyed the way that they're going with it. I do really like the dynamic with having the kids involved. That's another thing that I like, and puts it into the CW realm. But I think that seeing where they go with the kids, because once he told them who he was, we're gonna call him angsty Superboy. He just got mad, and he's like, you've been lying to us all this time. Like, dude, I know you know about superheroes. I know you know that superheroes have to hide their identity. Like, really? You're gonna get mad because he didn't tell you? Well, he just told you because he thought you could handle it at this point. So shut the hell up and stop being, an angsty teenager. And that's gonna actually, now that I think about it, that's gonna make me mad. That's gonna be my biggest sticking point in this show.
If that continues on,
and I'm gonna want to stab this kid in the neck. Because, like, dude, you have superpowers. What are you bitching about? Like, stop bitching.
Yeah.
And the fact that the other brother took it so well that he doesn't have superpowers was another thing that I thought was kind of interesting, rather than writing it out directly that, like, oh, the other brother was super jealous because he doesn't have superpowers. Like, that's where I kind of thought it would end up going. So I'm impressed the way the route they're taking with it. So I'm looking forward to future episodes.
I think the best thing about this show is the way they filmed it, the aspect ratio, doing it in letterbox as opposed to what they typically do on the CW shows. I think that was a great touch, and I look forward to seeing the rest of the season. So, Vic, you got any other comments?
No, actually, I think that'll about do it. That's a good. I think it's a solid breakdown.
Yeah, I do. And we thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button and all that stuff. So, on behalf of Vic,
that's me.
I'm Corey. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.
See ya.